Hey everybody! So in this video, we are going to be talking about a concept that has been on our mind a lot lately. And that is that while sadness, pain, and other similar emotions are validated often in the survivor community for those who've survived trauma, for those with DID and OSDD and other dissociative disorders, for those with PTSD, etc., anger is often not. Anger is often criticized, invalidated, ignored, or shut down when it is expressed. And we felt that this was something that needed to be discussed because a lot of people who have been through trauma have also been given the message that they are not allowed to be angry. And we want to tell you right now that that is 100% false. You have every right to feel anger when you have been through a traumatic situation, no matter what that situation is. No matter the source of your trauma, your anger is allowed. It is valid. And you have every right to feel it. Now, of course, it is important to manage anger appropriately. It is important to treat others with kindness and decency. It is important to respect others' boundaries. And it's certainly important to practice good self-care and make sure that the ways in which you're dealing with your anger are healthy. But the narrative that is often bandied about in survivor communities is that anger is not okay. That being angry at the situation, being angry at other people involved, being angry at circumstance and the unfairness of it all is not allowed. And this is a problem, especially for people with dissociative disorders, because many of us have a very difficult time accessing, connecting with, and processing our emotions. Many times, a system will have varying degrees of ability to handle certain emotions. In our system, for instance, anger is not well handled by many, simply because it frightens them. They cannot tolerate being angry. They don't tolerate seeing others angry very well. It's frightening for them. And so while it is understandable that many people in survivor communities would be uncomfortable with anger, it's important to recognize that it's okay to be angry. And it's not an abnormal response in any way. Many people often deal with intense periods of anger about the situations that they've been through and the people who may or may not have been involved in those situations. That is not abnormal at all. But unfortunately, a lot of times in survivor communities, it's treated as abnormal. Because unfortunately, a lot of people seem to erroneously equate anger with maltreatment and abuse. And the two are not synonymous. A person can be angry, a person can vent, a person can express that they are angry without it becoming abusive. We do a disservice to other survivors when we discount their anger, when we get defensive about their anger, or when we shut them down for expressing that anger. You hear it a lot. Oh, I'm sure they meant well. Or, oh, it couldn't have been that bad. Or, oh, well, I'm sure that they did care about you, they just didn't know how to show it right. Or, oh, look on the bright side. Or, it's important to forgive. Now, for some people, forgiveness can be part of their healing, but it's not mandatory. You do not have to forgive people who have harmed you. You do not have to forgive people who have traumatized you, even if it was not intentional. It doesn't change the effect. So every time a survivor is met with the message that they should not feel their anger and stop being angry, what they're really getting as a message more often than not is this emotion is not acceptable. And it is. It is acceptable. Instead of giving people the message that they should ignore their anger, give people the message that it's understandable that they're angry. Empathize with them. Tell them that you can see why they would be angry about whatever situation they have personally been through. And be there. Allow them to feel it, because that's the only way that they're ever actually going to move on and move past anger into acceptance of whatever the situation was, of the unfairness of it all, and be able to work on healing. Because if the only emotions you ever focus on are fear, sadness, pain, etc., and you leave anger completely out of the equation, it will be very difficult to ever reach a complete, stable place of healing. So remember, anger is not a bad thing. Anger is just there to tell us when something is wrong. It's our body's way of telling us something isn't okay. And it's valid. And it's normal. And it's acceptable. Alright, everybody. Well, we hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. Have a good day, everybody.